you, my YouTube family. What's up, baby? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back into another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about losing weight and the weight loss journey you go through after having a GERD procedure. As many of you guys know, I have suffered from GERD for a long time and I've had two major surgeries. I've had the Nissen Fundoplication and then I had that taken down and then the Linx implanted, and that's what I currently have. I'm going into about my 4th year with the Linx. If you guys want to know more about that, you can find that on my page. And you can find a lot of videos. Now, last week, or actually last month, I made a video regarding losing weight once I was diagnosed with GERD. But that video in itself was just prior to having any surgeries, right? This doesn't involve the post-op, the things that, the liquid diets afterwards that we're going to talk about today. This was just after the lifestyle changes that I had to make and just the food that I was, implementing and intaking on a daily basis. Because after you get diagnosed with GERD, or at least you start suffering a lot, you have to make a lot of lifestyle changes, as some of you guys know and some of you guys have experienced. So without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, so let's talk about the first procedure. We're gonna get the easiest one out the way, which is the Linx procedure. Even though I had the Linx, it's what I have now, and it was my second surgery. Let's talk about that first because I felt like there wasn't a lot of weight loss that occurred after having that procedure. So I remember once I got out of surgery, the surgeon told me to be on a liquid diet for about 2 to 3 days. He told me to be just on liquid diets, letting the Linx and the area around the Linx heal up a little bit before I started implementing soft foods. So after that period happened, I started implementing soft foods, something like eggs, mashed potatoes and things like that. But because I wasn't eating too much and because I just had gotten fresh out of surgery, then I started losing some weight, especially because of the 2 to 3 day liquid diet that I was on. Now, the weight loss with the Linx was not major. Maybe could have been 5 to 10 pounds. And, I'm rounding up these numbers. I don't exactly remember. I wasn't weighing myself, every single day. But I do remember just losing a little bit of weight. The only thing that I do remember very well, though, is the doctor telling me once those 2 to 3 days pass from you being on a liquid diet and start implementing food very often, because you want the Linx to start moving, you want the Linx to start squeezing and opening and closing. I'm assuming that's because you want your body to start getting used to, and then also you want it to start functioning, to the best of its abilities. So, I listened to the doctor, of course, because after getting out of a liquid diet for 2 or 3 days, I was hungry. So I'm over here just eating a little bit, but also I was eating pretty often, as he said. I'm very good when it comes to following a lot of the restrictions and I guess kind of rules that the doctors or surgeons put on you whenever you go through procedures. So again, the weight loss was probably about 5 to 10 pounds. It wasn't anything too crazy. And if you guys know, I've seen a lot of my videos, you guys know that the Linx kind of saved me from the road that I was going through with the Linx. With the Nissen Fundoplication and how bad it got to me and it was for my body. So that was pretty quick. I started eating pretty regularly. Now, I would say, for those guys that are new, I have not been healed from all my GERD issues. The Linx did not heal me completely, but it did revert a lot of the issues that the Nissen Fundoplication caused. And because of that, I'm able to live a manageable lifestyle. It's not perfect. It's not the greatest, to be honest, because I'm still looking for answers. Maybe it might be another procedure, or we'll see if, controlling naturally, and then see if technology advances in the next couple of years towards where I can see that I can take a different route. So that's as far as it comes to the Linx. Now, we're going to get into the Nissen Fundoplication, because this one is a little bit complicated, right? The surgery in general is complicated, wrapping your fundus, or the top of your stomach, around your esophagus, and that wraps around your vagus nerve, and then, having even, the mesh implanted and all that stuff. Man, it's just it's a lot for your body, and it's a very heavy surgery. By the way, it's so big that I had a catheter ablation procedure back in 2016, And when I went to talk to my surgeon that did the catheter ablation procedure for my heart, I talked to him that, I was a little concerned about, that particular surgery. He was like, man, you had a worse surgery. You had a bigger surgery. And that's a Nissen Fundoplication. So, if you're really concerned about the surgery that you had that was for your heart, like maybe you should be a little more concerned about the Nissen Fundoplication because of the way how it turns your anatomy and how your body has to get used to all of that. And, having your stomach being wrapped, it's something you're not supposed to be like that. But unfortunately, at that point, it is what it is, and that's the surgery that I decided to go with. But let's talk about the Nissen Fundoplication. So after I got out of surgery, I remember the surgeon telling me not to eat or at least be on a liquid diet for 2 weeks. Man, like now that I look back at it, I was like, man, I don't know how I did it. But I found ways to do it, to go through those two weeks of liquid diet. By the way, if you want to see a video on the 2 liquid diet, on the 2 week liquid diet that I was on, I have it on my page as well. So I'm also going to post it probably in the link below of this video, so you guys can watch it and after this video, of course. So after those 2 weeks, I remember losing about, I would say 15 pounds maybe. I was weighing, to give you more of an example, I was weighing about 225, 230. And I talk about that in the video as well, but I went down to about maybe 215, or maybe in the realms of 210. I think I would have gone lower after those 2 weeks, or lose a lot, or maybe lost more weight. But I found ways to implement food into my system that was very nutritious. Let me give you an example. So if I had a broccoli soup from Panera or something, right, or my family maybe some type of soup, instead of just drinking the liquid itself, I would blend it. All the food, the vegetables, maybe sometimes the chicken or whatever it brought, and then I will drink it, and that's still considered liquid. Maybe it's a little bit on the thicker side, but I still consider liquid. So I found ways like that to, first of all, not only get all the nutrition that I need, but also the feeling of being full, so I won't be struggling so much. Because I used to I feel like I put myself through so much stuff that at night I used to watch Gordon Ramsay just cook some food, and I was like, man, if I could have a burger right now, the things I would do. And I was just enjoying it, man. I would kind of Churchill myself a little bit, but it was just part of the process, and it was very tough for sure. It's not something easy, especially if you're used to, like me, I was used to eating every day, but now you're just being on a liquid diet. It makes you appreciate the little things in life and the food that you implement. So that's one part of the weight losing journey. One. Now let me tell you farther along, again, all these videos, if you want to know more about the details, they're on my channel. But further along the line, I think a year and a half after my surgery, I started suffering. The Nissen Fundoplication became so bad for me that the fundus was, the way it was wrapped, when you look down with a camera, when I had an endoscopy for it, my fundus was twisted. So my doctor could tell, the new surgeon could tell that the surgery was wrong, right? It was not done right. And the stitches they had when you stitch the fundus around the esophagus, there was too many stitches along the line. So it was a little bit too low, more than it should. So that was causing a lot of issues. And then the issues with the mesh and everything else was pretty crazy. So all of that kind of led me to go down a deeper hole. And because of the way the Nissen Fundoplication surgery was turning out, over time, I was suffering even worse than I was prior to having my procedure done. So that's when I started looking for answers. That's when I started looking to, getting the Linx implanted. But I just talked about that. But talking about the Linx and then going into that, that rabbit hole I was getting myself into, I started losing so much weight because I was worse. So I got to the point where I waited at one point. I went from, again, fluctuating from 220, 225, 230, to eventually going down to 190 pounds. And I'm telling you, that was not a healthy weight to lose, right? Because the reason I was losing so much is because I wasn't eating, first of all, the foods that I wanted, and then foods that were kind of beneficial to me, because there was only certain type of foods that I was able to eat and my body could really just stand. It was really, really bad. The weight loss that I had was extreme. I had family members that told me that they were really scared for me. They really thought that I was about to die. Like I was dying slowly. And technically I felt like I was, right? Because at night I wasn't able to sleep past 3 hours because my chest pressure and then my chest issues were so bad because of the surgery that I wasn't able to, stay asleep for 3 to 4 hours. It was really, really bad. And then on top of that, then the weight loss came. I have pictures that I have from how skinny I was, and weigh 190 pounds. That's not something that I usually weigh. And I know it wasn't a healthy weight loss. So it was a really scary time. And the reason I made 2 videos is because of this reason, right? Because once you get diagnosed, you make those changes, and sometimes it helps you. Sometimes it helps you realize some of the bad things you were doing. But afterwards, after the procedure, it can be a totally different ball game. And at the beginning, I thought everything was great, but then everything went downhill with the Nissen Fundoplication. So I'm not here to talk about the cons and the pros of each surgery. I'm not sure if I made a video of that yet, but if not, I will make it eventually. But when it came to the Nissen, and after that 1.5 years, everything went downhill, and the weight loss was really, really bad. It was really concerning, and I thought it was one of the craziest things I've been through in my life. So when people ask me, what surgery should I get, or which one you think is better, man, that depends, right? I can't tell you my experience. I can tell you my experience, and I wish I would have tried the Linx first. But then again, if the Linx wouldn't have worked out, my surgeon told me that if the Linx wouldn't have worked out, I would have gone to the Nissen Fundoplication. So regardless, I would have had both procedures either way, right? Except maybe the only thing that it could probably be different was that the new surgeon that I have would have, hopefully, and I would trust him to do the surgery right this time, unlike the first time that I had it. So that probably would have been the difference. And if it did work, then right now I probably would have had the Nissen Fundoplication in my system. So that's all I have for you guys today. It's a quick video on those issues. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment below any questions that you have for me. And also, don't forget, I have a podcast, guys. I have a podcast with my friend Alyssa, who's also been suffering for a long time. All the links are going to be in the description for the podcast. I'm telling you guys, it's a great podcast. I'm building another community through the podcast world. We have a YouTube channel. I'm going to leave all the links in the description below. You're going to be able to click everything else so you can join the community through the podcast, the YouTube. And, thank you for always showing love. Thank you for always being there for me. I'm planning on going live very soon so we can all just, chat up again and just talk. So for those of you guys that are new, I usually go lives on weekends. Maybe on a Saturday, every other Saturday, just try to catch up with everybody, see how everybody's doing in the community. So, and if you're new, hey, welcome to the family. Thank you for all the love again, and see you guys on the next one. Peace and love, baby.